Hi everybody, welcome to the Paranormal Connection. I'm your host, Dänna Wilberg. Well, the premise of the show is to enlighten and inform. And today we are talking about the tarot with Erin Burrell. Welcome.
I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm so happy you made it. The tarot is something we really like to get into because it's something that everybody can relate to. But before we jump into that, let's talk about you. You were you worked at a bank. You were a school teacher.
Yeah.
How did you come to start reading the tarot?
It was a long journey. I did get a teaching credential, worked in elementary education, worked at a bank because I couldn't get a job as a teacher. Then I had a 25-year career with the state. Always have felt intuitive, and it was a long journey. My husband passed away, and that was kind of a catalyst for me to start exploring psychic mediums and just into a different genre. And I had a reading that said cards would be good for me, and that's what kind of turned me on to the tarot. Okay.
Was this something that you dabbled in before, or?
No, I always felt intuitive. So when I went to the psychic medium, I asked her, what about my intuition? What do you think would be good for me? How do I expand on it? And she was the one that said cards would be good. And so I started exploring what decks, the artwork, how it spoke to me. And I started just choosing decks and started learning about the tarot.
That's interesting. I know, I've kind of dabbled with the runes. There's so much to learn when you're, there's so many properties, there's so many different layouts. And how long did it take you to do all that?
It took, I want to say about a year working with the cards. That I just kept pulling my own cards, reading for friends and family. And then for me, it was like the book that comes with the cards is a starting point. And then as I did more reads for people, it started changing. Then other information started, the cards for me opened me up, and then other information starts dropping in for me. So
yeah, it's a lot to remember.
Yeah. Well, and then it becomes you're not remembering anything. It's information, the person that's in front of you with the cards. I just believe it's their energy selecting the cards, and my readings have evolved over time that it's a soul read. For me, it's become a soul read that they sit in front of me and they select like 5 cards, and it's what the soul wants to talk about. And it's very interesting. For me, I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah.
It's almost like when I'm doing a read, it's happening to someone else.
Is there any particular cards that keep coming up for people that you're seeing? Is there kind of like patterns as time goes by?
Right. What I have found are there's patterns with the issues that people, when they sit across from me, I might get several people because I do the fairs, so I may read anywhere on the weekends from 15 to 24 people. And I start seeing, okay, I'm getting people that are going through breakups, or I'm getting people that have lost a loved one, parent or significant other. So it's just very interesting with the people that that are coming to me, and I had to create a very special space to do these readings out in the public because when I get with these people, they start sharing their life stories, and I can't do readings just out on the floor. It doesn't feel right for me. So,
yeah, that's kind of. Plus, your own energy gets kind of muddled when you've got everything coming in.
Right, and I get a lot of compliments on the way I have privacy screens, and people have to come and step in, and then I have the privacy screens around, and they always tell me I just love it. I don't want to read out just on the floor, and it's just been very interesting.
Yeah.
As I said, I left the state. I had a 25-year career, and this is I keep saying it's a total different animal. Being out and creating a space, reading the cards, having information drop in, and my favorite word right now is trippy. Everything is trippy to me. It's, it is.
I like that word.
It's trippy.
I can relate. So how is, since you've been doing this for how long?
About 4 years now.
For about 4 years. Since you've been doing the readings, how has it changed your own life as far as, I don't want to say enhancing your superpowers, but, it's like a muscle.
Right.
So
I totally agree. It has totally changed. To give myself permission to allow the information to come in, not be so serious. I know with allowing information to come in, I let the information kind of drop in. Mm-hmm. Now I hear things, the clairaudient, I see images, I know and feel things, and that's probably the toughest to explain to other people. How do you know or feel things? When I have a reading in my house, that I'll meditate before the person comes, and mm-hmm. I'll say, is there any messages for this person, or is there something special? So I'll get some different images, different things to talk about, which mean nothing to me. Mm-hmm. And then I share them with the person, and they're like, how did you get that? I don't even know how I get it. Yeah. It just drops in, and I'm glad it means something for them. And I have this funny story from this last weekend. I told you I did the Santa Rosa uh-huh. Mystic Fair. So, and I'm playing around with psychometry.
Oh, right.
So I will hold an object, a ring, earring, glasses, whatever. So I was with this one lady. I was holding her glasses, and I kept hearing, "Beam me up, Scotty." And I'm going, "Beam me up." And sometimes it's like, oh, I'm not going to write this down, but I have to. That's part of my commitment.
Right.
So I wrote down, Star Trek and "Beam me up, Scotty." And the other thing I saw for this woman, and this is just the fun part. It's uh-huh. not earth-shattering stuff. It's the fun part. So I saw like the old clotheslines that, we used to put out lots of clothes, mm-hmm. and I just saw white sheets, and that's what I'm seeing, just all this laundry, white sheets. And so I wrote that down for her, and so I shared it with her and said, this is what I got. And she said, I had 8 brothers and sisters, and it was her job to do all of the laundry, and she had to put it and hang it out on all these lines. My goodness. So that was really fun. But when I go, I'm embarrassed to say this to you, but do you like Star Trek or Beam Me Up, Scotty? And she kept going, nope, I don't like Star Trek. I go, did your son like Star Trek? No. I go, why do I keep hearing Beam Me Up, Scotty? Then she starts busting up, and she goes, oh my God, I had a bumper sticker that said, "Beam me up, Scotty. There are no intelligent men left on Earth." So anyway, that might not be politically correct, but it was funny, and she got it. I said, okay. I just wanted, I didn't know why I was getting "Beam me up, Scotty," but it meant something to her, and that's just the fun part.
Yeah, that's cool.
Of the readings, yeah.
Yeah, I like psychometry too. I think that's another really interesting aspect. So, what is it? The tarot was the first thing you started with, but is it something that you're going to pursue, or are you starting to venture off into other kinds of readings besides you said the psychometry, but are you feeling like you don't need any tools, like these kind of tools, or is this something you want to stay with?
Right now, I'm very comfortable with the cards. I know other information comes in for me, but like I said, I'll get things just before a reading, using nothing, just kind of talking to my guides and angels, and hook up and just say, is there anything special for this person when they come? So I'm not using anything when that comes in. So I get that information, and the psychometry is just something very new, and that I have given myself permission to try. And I think that's one of the biggest things to allow information to come to you is not put pressure on yourself. And like I asked friends at first to bring items over to the house and let me kind of play around. I had to create a safe place to try. So that's just how I'm trying right now, is the psychometry. And I'm not psychic, and I tell everyone I'm not psychic. I can't just look at you and know things. I'm getting my information. It feels like channeling. The information drops in. I just can't look at people. And I had someone that paid for a reading in the Turlock Expo, and he sat across from me and says, "I know, you're just going to do a cold read on me," and I'm like, "There's no way. I can't do a cold read. I'm not psychic." Just my.
Well, I think I think everyone is psychic. I think it's the way we perceive what that means.
Correct.
But I know what you're talking about. You don't just.
Yeah, you
don't read.
That's not my thing.
Yeah,
I can't just look at someone and. Sometimes I'll hear something, but I'm not. I know some people can do the future. I can do with the cards and get the probabilities, and I talk to people about how we have free will. Nothing's written in stone, but it's probabilities. I believe in the soul journey, so I'm not really about telling someone what they're supposed to do. I can talk about options for them or, what we're looking at, but it's their own journey. That they need to walk through and they need to learn from. And so that's what doing the readings is just very interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world, than working with the state. That's why I'm so in awe just of the whole process. And like you said, everyone, I believe we have gifts, but for me to even tune into them, I read so many books, and they all talked about meditating and getting quiet. And it's like, okay, I finally have to do that. And I believe that's so important in this day and age. You have to get quiet first because we're so distracted and you can't hear information coming in.
Plus all the electronic devices and stuff that we're surrounded to block a lot of the energies coming through. So
Correct.
Having that quiet space and
Right.
and just focusing on what's coming in is really helpful. So do you ever get kind of when you're reading the cards, do you ever get anything that kind of freaks you out? Do you ever?
No. I don't. I believe I come from a place of light, and I talk to people about their higher power, their source, whatever it is to them. That comes up in the readings a lot. Sometimes they'll pull cards for me, which is, how are they connected to their source? Sometimes may not so good, But I just believe in positive of the light. I don't believe I'm ever going to get anything that they can't handle, that their soul isn't, prepared to hear. And I think when I started getting involved with this, I think it's how you put your intention out there.
Yes,
absolutely. I don't want to be one of the people that gets information that like someone's going to pass. And I've heard that and read that about other, I don't want to call myself a psychic medium, but when I was reading about others, they would put that out there. I don't want to know that information.
Yeah.
And I just feel like with my readings, it's more soul information, how to help with their lives, what's going on right now. It just seems that's the people that I get, and that's who I just feel my higher power is going to use me in a positive way, and I try to just show up. And I always put out there at the shows that bring me the souls, that it'll be for our highest good to work together. And I feel that's what I've been getting. They're going to be my teacher. I'm going to be their teacher.
I get that.
So,
yeah, it's interesting. So is there any particular kind of a particular deck you like to work with?
Yes. This is the John Holland deck, and I use this deck. It's what I call my soul deck, and it just is how I like to start readings with people, to start here and have them pull 5 cards for me, and it just kind of it allows us to link up and kind of tells me what's going on with them. And then if they have questions on, people like to know about, of course, romance, jobs, and then I go to another deck that it's kind of like the Rider-Waite, which is the traditional deck that's been around forever. But I like the artwork. The artwork's a little bit different and better. It just speaks to me.
I love the artwork on here. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can
They're,
see this at home, but look at this beautiful. This is transformation, and it's a butterfly. I mean,
Right.
That's just
yeah,
absolutely
and
stunning.
I get a lot of compliments because this deck isn't one that they're seeing at the fairs, at the Mystic Fairs or whatever. That people tend to really like it, and I just know I enjoy it. There's some decks. There's so many hundreds of decks now that I can look at some of the pictures and it just turns me off. You know, it's like I could not possibly work with, cards that way. But this is my deck that just feels good to me. And
Yeah. Joseph Martinhill's gorgeous. The deck that he designed is just beautiful. Just beautiful. I don't know if you've ever
I
seen
haven't
his.
seen it.
Oh, it's gorgeous. He's a graphic artist.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he had a
talents
jump on that
yeah,
one.
Yes.
Yeah. But those are nice and soft. They're very soft. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this deck is a little different because it also includes the chakras. So people can pull the chakra cards, and I'm sure you're familiar with the chakras, but I get a lot of people that aren't familiar with the chakras. And so then during a read, I may be talking about the 7 main chakras and kind of do a little educating about the crown chakra and the third eye. A lot of people know the third eye chakra, but then we have our throat chakra, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and the base chakra. And they say there are batteries for the soul. And when someone pulls like 2 or more, which I've had, it's kind of like they're run down. I feel like they're run down a little bit, and so I just know I need to educate a little bit and talk to them about different ways on how they can kind of charge back up, amp themselves back up.
Well, I imagine, being a teacher for all those years, you've got that educating persona.
Yes.
That really probably helps a lot with your delivery on things.
My mom was a teacher. And so I came through the back door. I mean, she taught for 39 years. And so I grew up helping in the classroom. So then it was natural for me to get my teaching credential. And it is, I just kind of feel like a natural teacher anyway, but I had the education. But I came out of college at a time that there wasn't full-time jobs for teaching. So that's why I ended up in the banking. But still love kids, and when I worked for the state, I mentored adults, so I was teaching in a different way there. But.
And who's to say that education didn't prepare you for what you're doing right now?
Correct.
I'm sure it helps.
Correct.
Quite a bit.
And I think you said before about life experiences, how life experiences really can aid you, assist you, and that's what I'm finding with the readings with the people I'm sitting with, that I'm drawing people that are walking through something I've already walked through. And that's fascinating in itself, And to me, this is like my higher power giving a little wink. They'll share something during the read, and I'll go, that's why you're sitting across from me. That is why. I know why you're there. And that's just the wink.
It's very validating, for you and for them. Wow.
Yes.
So what do you think your clients are taking away from the readings? I do think you're really, well, I know you're being very helpful, but are they, this is a time where there's so many shifts and stuff. So are they taking away like this empowerment along with the words that you're giving them?
I believe empowerment because I do, the reality is most of the time it's women I'm reading for. And so I do want to empower them, to live their best life, make, sound decisions. And that's some of the cards, that they're pulling. What I say is I get a lot of virgins. I get women that come in that have never had a reading before, and they were just drawn to these fairs, and it was their first time, and they'll say, "This is my first reading." And when I was in Reno, there was a woman like in her 70s, and it was her first time getting a reading. And I just said, "Okay, you're with the right person, because I get a lot of virgins." And she was cracking up, and I go, "At this age, when we can say that, it's like, it's kind of fun."
Yeah.
So, and the other thing I hope they take away too is there's some fun. That I think that's what the psychometry, some of the images that come through, that's the fun,
Yeah.
With some images, sometimes I get things of their childhood and they haven't thought about something in a long time, and but there is the empowerment also, and it's interesting to come in to be in a psychic fair, or and at the Healing Arts Festival, I was there. That these people come in and they share their intimate details, and that's why I created the space, but. I just feel so honored. I have so many people cry with me. It's just, for me, it's like it's a safe place, and what they're sharing, and I think they also get hope.
Yeah. It's almost as if you have to be part psychologist, and there's a lot of responsibility being a reader. I don't know if everybody understands that, but
Right.
You're holding somebody's life in your hands when they come to you and share whatever it is that's going on, and the information you impart, is going to make a huge difference.
Correct.
Not everybody's going to say, that doesn't fit me. They're going to say, oh my God, and they're going to make big changes in their life. So, that's huge.
I think the other thing they may come away with is I share the tools that have worked for me in my lifetime. And I will say, counseling worked for me. Journaling worked for me. Getting out and doing some exercising. I will share healthy tools to walk you through, situations. And I'll pass that on, especially with counseling, But I do take it very seriously. And also, I am not going to tell someone what to do. That's why I was saying it's a soul read. It's for them to experience.
Right.
We can weigh different ways to look at things or options. And I will tell them, no one can make this decision but you. I had a woman in Reno that really just wanted me to tell her what her boyfriend was thinking and what he was going to do. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't do that. I can give you some probabilities on a situation, but if you'd like to, find someone here, go out, and if they will tell you that, I go, I don't believe it's right, but, have at it if you want to do that, but no.
Yeah. And the fact that she's there is probably a red flag right there. It's time for us to give our information, Erin, so if you want to tell everybody how they can contact you for a reading, that'd be great.
They can go to my website, and it's egbtarot.com. Those are my initials. And then also, eblucky58@gmail.com.
Oh,
That's my
that.
email. Yeah.
Lucky.
I'm lucky. I am lucky.
Yes, you are lucky. Okay. We need to give some information about the Paranormal Connection.
The Paranormal Connection airs the first and third Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our companion show, Story Connection, airs the second and fourth Thursdays of each month. Each episode repeats the following Friday at 1:30 p.m. and Saturday at 5:30 a.m. Watch these programs online at the same air times by going to accesssacramento.org and clicking Watch 17. In the Sacramento region, you can see us on Comcast Channel 17 and on AT&T Channel 99. You can find previously aired shows on the Paranormal Connection YouTube channel. For information on upcoming shows and previous Paranormal Connection guests, go to paranormalconnectiontv.blogspot.com. You can contact us at paranormalconnectiontv@gmail.com. And don't forget, find us on Facebook, become a friend, and become a fan.
So, we're almost out of time. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the audience that we haven't covered?
I would hope that they will check out my website and consider doing a reading For me, it's a new adventure. It's fun. And I know sometimes people have misinformation about it, and I just want to say I come from the light, I come from the positive, and to check out my website and consider having a reading just for the grins, just for fun, to try it.
That sounds good. I love it. Okay, well, we're about out of time, and I really would love to thank my wonderful crew. We've got Laura and Ted, Don, Lorene, and Rick. And without them, we wouldn't have the show. So we sure appreciate their time and their expertise for helping us get this on the air and bringing out guests like Erin. So if you'd like to learn more about me and my short films and my books, you can go to DonnaWilberg.com and follow me on Facebook. For comments or questions, go to Paranormal Connection TV at gmail.com. And with that, we're going to say good night. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Good night.